Should you learn Norwegian nouns with 3 genders or with 2 genders? Now you might say that's a really weird question, right? But let's dive in a little deeper. You might know that Norwegian nouns have genders, which in itself is very weird for English speakers. You might know the concept from other languages like French or Spanish or Russian, where things have genders, where a table can be masculine or feminine or neuter or something like that. And that's the same in Norwegian. And there is one more peculiarity about the Norwegian language. That is that if a noun has a feminine gender, you can always use the masculine form and it's totally fine and it's grammatically correct. Not the other way around. When a noun is masculine, it's masculine, but when it's feminine, you can use the masculine form. So for example, ei dør, yeah, that's feminine. You can also say en dør. You can say døra, you can say døren. Both are fine, both are correct. Now, why that is so, I don't want to dive into that here. It's really weird. It's a long story. If you're interested in Norwegian language history, maybe I'm going to make another video about that one day. But anyway, that's the reality. And many students say, oh, okay, well, that's actually cool, but when I learn the gender of every noun, shouldn't I just go and say, well, either it's neutral or it's masculine, right? Because every feminine noun can also be masculine, so let's not bother about it. Let's just put the feminine ones under the masculine ones and then it's fine. Well, I disagree a little bit. The problem is, theoretically, you can do that. You can write Norwegian just using masculine and neutral forms. That's totally fine, totally correct. However, when you're speaking Norwegian, using only 2 genders is a bit odd, and only very few Norwegian dialects do that. Most dialects use all 3 genders, so they would say ei dør, or they would say døra and not dør. And why that is so, again, it's a long story. Why Norwegian is even so dialectal, another long story, but that's just a reality. So if you're planning to move somewhere where people use actually 3 genders in everyday life, then it will be a little bit odd if you're just sticking to the masculine for the masculine and feminine nouns. So my personal advice is it's not so much more work to really learn the correct or the feminine article whenever it's necessary with a feminine noun. You can do that. I think it's not much more work. But of course, when you're speaking Norwegian, you're inevitably going to make mistakes with the genders, and that's fine. People will understand what you want to say. So when you're not sure about the gender of a noun when you're speaking Norwegian, just put en, and it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. Maybe somebody will repeat the word and we'll use et or we'll use a, and then you know, okay, it was actually neuter, it was actually feminine. That's fine. But even if you do it like wrong, if you use the masculine and it was actually a neutral word, people will still understand you. So never have the articles or the genders of the nouns stop you from speaking Norwegian, because that's really a tiny mistake. If you're more interested in the grammar, in the things that you should really learn in order to not have big misunderstandings or sound really weird, then I suggest that you download my survival guide for Norwegian grammar. There's a link in the description below, and I'd like to hear your opinion in the comments. What do you think? Are you learning the nouns with all 3 genders or only with 2 genders?